Technologies such as mobile phones, airplanes, phones, and the internet made the growth of transport and communication network possible. This means that people and countries can exchange information and goods more quickly and in a less complicated way. This process is called globalization. Globalization comes from globe. It means the worldwide coming together of nations and countries.
This process referred during a long time to the expansion of Western American culture only, but not anymore. Today, sports is a truly globalized product and commodity because of the growing presence and power of non-Occidental culture, especially the Asian one. Japan can be taken as an example because it fulfills the function in the contemporary world of the society from which one leader of a specific culture can learn from another. And this is what makes Japan so global. And which brand can represent the Japanese identity internationally better than ASICS? Since its founding in 1949, the focus of the brand has largely remained for several decades on improvement of functionality and technology. The technicity of the brand is carried by the gel revolution, which reduces impact, increases shock absorption, and is strategically placed for maximum comfort. ASICS isn't only a sporting goods seller, as the brand makes its own shoes and is deeply attached to its Japanese craftsmanship. This policy clearly refers to the idea of Japanese technology presented by Duguay in 1997. However, ASICS manages to keep its own national culture and to adapt itself to the others by the same time. Advertising, for example, is delegated to European or American companies. In these campaigns, Japanese identity was reimagined, branded and represented by ASICS Western partners to capitalize on the Western desire to consume cool Japan. This mixture between Japanese technicity and Western advertising allows ASICS to understand and convince foreign customers. Keeping a proper national culture and diversifying its products help ASICS to set up abroad on the long term and to globalize its image. The Japanese sporting brand located 989 shops in 33 different countries, and it represented an annual net sales of 378 billions of yens in 2019. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call globalization.
So what about glocalization? Glocalization means that you have to think global but to act local. Here, in local strategies, you need to adapt your offer depending on the country. You must understand the local culture before making any strategy. And in this point, we need something vital, that it's the hybridization. That means how you insert something in a new place. The hybridization is the mechanism to develop your product in new lands, here in India.
Game on, about to do my thing. Guess who stepped in the ring? The last one left in the ring. Can't lose cause I work too hard. Ab game like, oh my god. Boss chick, my pull-up game is so sick. Don't think I lost it, I'm just getting started.
This commercial, it's a typical example of how Nike makes glocalization. They create campaigns showing his product but in a specific audience, in this case in the audience of Indian woman. And of course, they show typical sports from the specific country. Here, they show professional women's players that have great popularity in India. So the idea is that Indian women motivate to do the specific sports and of course to buy Nike products. The decision to choose professional women athletes from the target audience country is an example of an efficient glocalization. The brand is global, but the message is worldly construed. Yet it is personalized to specifically empower a target population of women in India. Let's go. Let's go.
In a growingly competitive market, Global brands find themselves not only up against each other, but also against small local brands everywhere. This forces them to have multiple marketing approaches in order to cope with the market. One of these brands is Nike, and one of these approaches is globalization. Globalization represents the propagation of some particular local habits in the world without undergoing any twisting to fit within the global landscape. As for Nike, it promotes the New Yorker lifestyle. This makes Nike seem like focusing their energy on New York population, which is not completely wrong. However, what adds the global dimension is that people from all around the world are trying to inhabit a New York lifestyle. And it does not matter if they live in Europe, Asia, or some other American state. This is best identified by the world popularity of teams like New York Yankees. The Yankees products are being worn in different parts of the world, despite being a part of a sport that is not so popular outside of the United States and a few Asian countries. This global approach is very effective and resources saving, as the company only focuses on a specific target market and gets to reap the benefits of the presence on other markets. The globalization dynamic reverses the role, as it is the market that scouts the brand and not the other way around. This new dynamic is highly beneficial for the company, but it's not so easy to pull. The local habits that the company associates with should be highly influential on their own to be able to attract the global attention. This means that globalization is a positioning game overall.
Now we are going to talk about localization. It's when your products are adapted to a geographical area. We focus on Monclar Decathlon project. In this resort, Decathlon has created a necessity store. In other words, only products related to skiing. Customers can find all they need to practice in resort, like helmets, ski boots or gloves. This shop is really adapted to their customers.
Vous avez envie de tester ça? Ou ça? Ou ça? Ou ça? Ou plutôt ça? Vous savez ce qu'il vous reste à faire? Nous retrouver à Monclar les Deux-Vallées avec mon petit Décat pour des tests, des initiations et des découvertes sportives du 17 janvier au 4 février.
Ephemerity is success of this shop.
C'est mon petit Décat!
It can be placed anywhere. Decathlon have just to adapt its product to their localization and customers. In extra, they can develop service like repairing or ski lesson. And anywhere Decathlon is, they give good advice and keep the smile.
In fact, if I am holiday maker, this is my really point. I reserve on the terminal, 4 hours later it is delivered directly in the container. I don't like Wayne Rooney! Moreover, the main objective of innovation is not to sell but to educate the French to different sports practice in order to democratize sports in the broad sense. The brand's strategy is to make sport accessible to as many people as possible. But Decathlon also launched another concept, Decathlon DX.
Derrière moi, c'est Decathlon DX, le nouveau concept de magasin du futur de la marque. On y retrouve notamment un AdLab pour Additive Manufacturing et Laboratory. L'impression 3D est au cœur de l'innovation du groupe. Ils se sont notamment rapprochés du fabricant HP et de sa technologie Multijet Fusion pour le développement produit.
Their goal is to express and expose the true values of the product. This store is located at Villeneuve d'Ascq behind Decathlon Campus Store, in the north of France. It's a pure local product.